Hello! Today is a very special day. Today, September 22nd, 2020, is the fall equinox, or autumnal equinox. The equinox it happens twice a year. We have the spring equinox or vernal equinox, and then we have the autumnal equinox. So we're going to read a story together today that's going to help us understand more about the equinox and what that is and why that happens, and about the seasons and the sun, as well as traditions and harvesting. So have a great book to share with you. There we go. Okay. Where did my meeting go? So let me share my screen. Oh no. Did I record? Oh yeah. Here we go. We Gather Together, Celebrating the Harvest Season, by Wendy Pfeffer, illustrated by Linda Bleck. Another title page. During early autumn in the northern part of the earth, chipmunks pack their cheeks full of seeds to store in underground burrows. Red fox pups hunt for rodents and fruits to eat, then bury leftovers to dig up when food is scarce. Beavers store twigs and sticks underwater to chew when ice covers their pond. As the sun appears lower in the southern sky each day, the sun rises later each morning and sets earlier each evening. Days grow shorter, the nights cooler, and the growing season ends. Time to prepare for winter. Black bears gobble honey, grubs, fruits, and roots, building layers of fat for the cold days ahead. People pick purple grapes, yellow squash, orange pumpkins, and crisp red apples. They husk corn, gather nuts, rake cranberries, and enjoy the harvest season. But today, there's little need for them to stockpile food for winter as the animals do. Ships, trucks, and cargo planes transport it from parts of the world where fruits and vegetables are still growing. When it's winter in the northern hemisphere, food is brought in from the southern hemisphere where it's summer. So sphere, if you remember, is our 3D round circular shape, or our globe, and hema means half. So half of the earth, the northern half or the top half of the earth when it's winter, the bottom half or southern half, it's still summer. So here we have a little visual of how the seasons move along. So today, right at the top, is the fall or autumnal equinox, where day and night are equal. Equinox, equal. Day and night are equal. And then marks the first day of fall. And in fall, we know that the nights are longer than the days. The days keep getting shorter. And this is when it's time to harvest. And this goes into the winter solstice, which is right around December 21st, 22nd, which is the shortest day with the least sunshine. And then that marks the first day of winter. And then we have the winter season, where the nights are longer than days. The days start to get longer from the winter solstice on, and we know that spring is coming. And then about 6 months from this day, it's the spring or vernal equinox. Again, the day and night are equal. And this moves into spring, where the days are getting longer than the nights. The days keep getting longer and the seedlings sprout. And the summer solstice, which is about June 21st, June 22nd, is the longest day with the most sunshine. And that marks the beginning of summer, where the days are longer than nights, but the days start to get shorter. And this is when the crops grow. And then we're back to, we just ended summer. It is the fall equinox. So different seasons are caused by the tilt of the earth as it moves around the sun. So we talked about how it's lit up, and we know that the sun, or our planet Earth, is revolving around the sun, and it's rotating as it's revolving. And depending on how it's tilted, That determines what the season is. Do you like my little... All right, so different seasons are caused by the tilt of the earth as it moves around the sun. When the northern part of the earth tilts toward the sun, the north gets lots of sunshine and it's summer here or there. When the northern part of the earth tilts away from the sun, the north gets less sunshine and it's winter. Between summer and winter, around September 21st, this year it's September 22nd, the sun crosses the equator and shines equally on both the northern and southern parts of the earth. So it's equal for both parts of the earth. On that day in the northern part of the world, summer ends and autumn begins. Day and night have equal hours all over the world. For many, the autumnal equinox signals a time to harvest crops. Each crop has its own growing season. Most seedlings sprout with the cool spring rain and thrive under the warm summer sun. Sunshine helps a plant's leaves make the food that is necessary for the plant to grow. When autumn arrives, days are cooler. Plants can no longer make the food they need, and the growing season ends. Fruits and vegetables that ripen by autumn must be harvested before winter's freezing weather destroys them. 300,000 years ago, no one knew how to plant seeds to produce a bountiful harvest. Cave dwellers picked berries, collected nuts, dug roots, and gathered wild plants. Winters were hard for them. They had to live on what they gathered and stored in the fall. About 10,000 years ago, where Syria and Turkey are today, tribes learned to grow wheat and barley from seeds. How exciting it must have been to plant one seed and produce a stalk with many. 8,000 years ago in Egypt, people discovered the warm climate was perfect for farming. The Nile River provided water, and once each year its floodwaters deposited rich black fertile soil on both sides, and plants grew in abundance. Gradually, farming spread to Asia. About 5,000 years ago, people grew food in a crescent-shaped area where Iraq is now. The Tigris River and small streams that fed it turned valleys into a fertile crescent of rich farmlands. Each autumn in many lands, men, women, and children worked all day and even at night under the light of a bright harvest moon. They cut rice, threshed wheat, and gathered bundles of barley. A good harvest meant plenty of food to eat in the fall and more to store for days when food was scarce. Time to rejoice and have fun after hard, back-breaking work. Over the centuries, people celebrated plentiful harvests and passed down traditions at different times, in different places, and in different ways. All over the world, harvest celebrations from the past are still being carried out today. Jewish families have gathered together at harvest time for over 3,000 years to celebrate Sukkot. During this 8-day festival of Thanksgiving, they wave palm, myrtle, and willow branches, then point them in all directions to show that God is everywhere. Some Jews built a hut called a sukkah, like the ones farmers once stayed in to be near their crops during a busy harvest. They decorate the huts with fruits and vegetables, then invite friends and families to share food and friendship. People in southern India have celebrated Pongal, a 4-day rice festival for over 2,000 years. On the first day, they decorate their front doors with rice flower designs and give thanks to the rain gods. On the second day, they cook pongal, a sweet rice pudding, and offer some to the sun god. On the third day, they honor their cattle to thank them for pulling the plows. The fourth day, family and friends gather on riverbanks to dance and enjoy a bountiful feast, including, of course, freshly harvested rice. The people of Japan have held rice festivals for about 2,000 years. In spring, girls dressed in kimonos plant rice while musicians play bells, drums, and flutes. In summer, they hold a lantern festival to express their joy as the rice ripens. When fall comes, they celebrate the rice harvest with parades and a dragon dance. During their moon viewing ceremony, people sing while watching shadows on the full moon. Many think the shadows show a rabbit making rice cakes. Can you see the rabbit making rice cakes? Mm-hmm. For over 700 years, Nigerians have held a fall festival to give thanks for yams, the first crop harvested. On the night before the festivities begin, the old wrinkled yams are thrown out. The next day, new yams are offered to the gods and ancestors in appreciation of a successful harvest. Dancers wear raffia skirts and masks that portray turtles, lizards, trees, and the sun or moon to celebrate a cycle of nature. Hundreds of years ago, the English believed that the spirit of their wheat lived in the last bundle they cut. In each field, they twisted into the shape of a doll. Since they called wheat corn, these dolls were named corn dollies. They were hung in barns or churches during the winter, then plowed back into the earth in the spring to ensure a good harvest in autumn. People still make corn dollies just for fun. Bountiful harvests have been celebrated since earliest times. People all over the world still celebrate a fruitful year of farming with fun feasts and festivals. They enjoy corn, rice, yams, apples, pumpkins, cranberries, and other fruits and vegetables of the harvest season. Autumn, with its brilliant colors and delicious gifts of nature, offers friends and family a time to gather together and give thanks for all their blessings. Equinox facts. So an equinox occurs when the center of the sun appears directly over the equator and shines equally on both the northern and southern parts of the earth. Day and night are equal all over the world. Equinox means equal night. On that day, everywhere on earth, there are 12 hours of light and 12 hours of dark. There are 4 seasons in each year. A day called the vernal equinox welcomes the first day of spring. The summer solstice, the longest day of the year, tells us summer has arrived. The autumnal equinox greets autumn, and winter begins on the winter solstice, the shortest day. We enjoy 4 seasons because the earth tilts. Around March 21st, the spring equinox, the sun appears to cross the equator as it moves from south to north. Day and night are equal all over the world. It's the first day of spring, time to plant our seeds. Around June 21st, the summer solstice, the northern part of the world receives the direct rays of the sun. We have the longest day of the year, the first day of summer, when our plants grow. Around September 21st or September 22nd this year, the autumnal equinox, the sun appears to cross the equator again as it moves from north to south. Day and night are equal all over the world. It's the first day of autumn, time to start harvesting crops. The full moon nearest to the first day of autumn, or the autumnal equinox, is called the harvest moon. Its bright light allowed people to harvest crops late in the night. After the autumnal equinox, the northern part of the world receives only the indirect rays of the sun. The days get shorter and the nights longer until the winter solstice around December 21st. Then the cycle begins again. So here's a little project you can do. Prove the sun rises due east on both equinoxes. Oh, darn it. I should have given this to you guys sooner because it says to do between the 15th and the 20th. But, so you can also, so there's other things to do. Yeah, I wish I would have been looking ahead. Sorry, guys. So you can maybe still try it. So choose a time in the morning, such as when you're waiting. Well, not when you're waiting for the bus. We never even go to the bus. But sometime in the morning, choose a spot where you can sit and draw for a few minutes. If you have a compass, you will need a compass for this. So check your compass and face east. And sketch what you see around you. Houses, trees, telephone poles, but not the sun. Write north on the top left side of your paper, write east on the top middle, write south on the top right, and make 7 copies of your sketch on a copier machine, which we don't have, but yeah. So oh, I've done this one before. Show how the tilt of the earth makes the seasons with flashlight, dark paper. So I'll put this in Google Classroom. Ooh, Equinox corn muffins to share. Maybe you want to do some baking. So there's those. I will add that image to the Google Classroom because they have some cool things. You can make a Nigerian harvest mask and celebrate. You can write about other harvest festivals. They talked about a lot in this book, but there's many others. So some other festivals are, they talked about China's Moon Festival, the Inca's Corn Harvest Celebration, Ancient Egypt Harvest Parade, Ancient Greek Harvest Festival, the Hopi Corn Dance, Iroquois Green Corn Dance, Germany's Oktoberfest, Cherokee Harvest Festival, the Czech Republic Harvest Celebration, Barbados Sugarcane Festival, and Japan's Labor Thanksgiving Day. So it's a pretty universal thing for cultures and countries and people to celebrate the growing season, to celebrate, look at all this earth has given us, and we have all this food, and we live and grow because the earth provides. So it's a great thing to celebrate. And that is that. So I hope you enjoyed the read aloud about the fall equinox. And if you want to do one of those follow-up activities, I encourage you to do so. Happy autumn, everybody. I'll see you later.